welcome to Spice Wars. This is going to be part 2 of my seed starting series. It's been about 2 weeks since I started these hot pepper seeds in some paper towels. You can check out part 1. I'll put the link below for that video. And we're going to pull these out and see what we've got germinated, and we're going to get them in some soil. So what you'll need is your wet paper towels with your seeds that have some roots started out of, at least some of them. You're going to need some potting soil. You're going to need a little bit of room temperature water to get the soil going. I'm going to use some gloves. And then you're going to need some small cups, or you can get the little kind of black plastic, almost looks like my soil container here, but they're very thin, you know, the little cells to start your seedlings in. I'm just going to use these little plastic cups here. It'll do just fine. What we're going to do here is we're going to see, I went through and checked ahead of time, of course, but you're going to want to see how many seeds you have that are going to be going into soil. I'm pretty sure I have 8 here. So pop them open and see what we got. Okay, so we've got them all open, and it looks to me like we've got, you're going to want to use like a toothpick or something to go through and kind of gently make sure that the roots aren't grown into the paper towel. Sometimes it does happen, and if they are grown into the paper towel, that's okay, because you can just cut around and leave a little bit of the paper towel in there and just plant that right in the soil. It'll be fine. So on this here, it looks like we've got 1. Yep, alright, we've got 2. That one can go, even though it's just got the tiniest little tail. I'll try to show you that. Okay, so it's got the tiniest little tail there. Hopefully you can see that. That'll do just fine in soil. So what we're going to do, I'm going to pull those two kind of just to the center of that towel to keep those in mind, and I'm actually going to, that seed there looks like it's starting to pop open, so that might have some life to it. A couple of these might have life still to it. Like I said, it's been 2 weeks. They can take up to 3 sometimes, or maybe some more even. So we're gonna, after we pull these and put them in soil, we're gonna refold these up, rehydrate them, put them back in the warm, closet for a while. So on to paper towel number 2. It looks like this one actually shed the seed already and has a couple. Yep, see, this one is growing into the paper towel slightly. It looks like it might come free without damage, though. And actually, I'm going to move this one right out of our way for now, so I can pull this one a little bit closer. Okay, yeah, see, it came free. So we've actually got a little bit of leaf. Its first baby little leaf set started there. And then same with this one. This one's kicking its seed shell off too. And it looks like that's it for this paper towel as well. So there's 2 on this one. I'm going to move this to the side. And again, I'm going to hang on to the other seeds that haven't germinated and give them another week or 2 and see what happens. Onto this one here, we have got 1 more right there. Okay, so this one's grown kind of into the paper towel. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rip right around the towel there. Be careful not to damage the roots as you do this. And that's okay to have a little bit of paper towel like that, okay? We're going to plant that right as it is. So again, we're going to move that kind of to the center of the sheet. Pick up the second one. Move that to the center as well. And move those off to the side. Now we're going to check out the final paper towel. It does look like this one had a little trouble. Most of them. Oh, okay. So we've got 1. And that's a possible 2. It's just the teeniest little tail, but I think I'm going to try it. And looks like the rest of these are going to need to go back in. So that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and leave those 2 together. Okay, so I'm going to also move these over to the side. And what we're going to do is prep our soil and our cups now. Okay, in order to do the next part, I am going to glove up. I just don't feel like getting dirty, muddy hands right now. Alright, so we're going to take our soil here, and it's a little bit dry, and you want it to be nice and moist, so you can pack it in nicely and whatnot. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of room temperature water here, and just add a little bit at a time and mix it up nicely so you don't overdo it. Okay, so we've got our water all nicely mixed into our soil to give it a little bit of packability and a little bit of moisture, of course, to contain the seeds. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill each of our cups here. We've got 8 seeds we're going to try in 8 cups. And lightly pack your soil into the cups, and I'm just going to leave a slight little bit on top, you know, like a little gap between the top and the soil. Like I said, just lightly pack it in there. Don't super pack it, okay? Alright, so this is a good example of how you're going to want each cup to be. Like I said, it's lightly packed. A good way to do that is kind of just give it a few taps on the bottom and let it pack itself into, you know, all the little crevices you might have in there. And leave, like I said, just a little bit of room in the top. So I'm going to go through and do the rest of those, and I'll see you soon. Okay, so we're finished filling our cups full of soil, and now we're going to move this to the side. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to take your first cup, you're going to find the center, take your pinky or your index finger, whichever you want to do. Give yourself about, a little ½ inch hole in there, or, you know, relatively close to that. I'm going to go ahead and take my first seed here, and we're going to place it into that hole. And you're going to want to try to get the root side as close to, I made that hole a little bit too deep. We're going to shallow that up a little bit. Try to get the root as close to facing downward as you can. And use it, you know, a little toothpick or something to do that. And like I said, be careful not to damage the root. And once you've got that done, you got the root, or the seed in there with the root downward, take your finger and just gently bring the top over and give it a light little tap to pack it. Just light pack, like I said. So we're going to set that one off to the side, and we're going to continue to do that for all 8 of them. Okay, so we've got all of our germinated seeds placed into the soil, and they're all lightly packed down. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to top them off very slightly. And you know what? Instead of using this container to pour it in, I'm going to grab my spray bottle, and I'm just going to mist the top of each of these. Okay, so I'm going to mist the top of each of these. In order to just keep a nice amount of moisture into this, you know, keep the seed nice and humid and get them growing and sprouting up. Okay, so I've got all of these sprayed down and hydrated really well, and then the seeds that didn't germinate yet, we're going to go ahead and place them back into this bag. And we're going to give them a little bit more hydration. And I'm going to go ahead, place that back into the closet as well, and see if they germinate in another week or so. And I'm going to place these into the closet. I'm going to be turning the LED lights on and getting them to hopefully start sprouting up. And I'll check back in a week or two and see what the progress looks like. So again, this is part 2 of my hot pepper seed to hopefully full fruition and harvest. And this was part 2, getting the seeds in the soil. Thank you so much for watching. As always, may the force be with you.